Angie Cooley, Music, Mitchell Road Elementary School. I think the thing about grants is that it gives you the opportunity to provide things in your classroom that you would not normally get to do, like a carrot clarinet to be able to teach jazz. I mean, being able to learn about the different genres of music is not something that's necessarily really exciting to a lot of kids at that age. But when you do it in a fun way like that, suddenly, oh yeah, syncopated rhythms are really cool, Miss Cooley, because I can do it this way.
Ann Kelsey Ziebert, Social Studies, Northwest Middle School. My teaching gets students excited about history because I want them to understand that there's history all around them. One of the projects that we always do at the end of the year is an oral history project where they get to talk to a parent or grandparent or aunt or uncle, pastor, neighbor, somebody they know, and hear about that person's experiences. They might not have been a veteran or somebody who participated or was there witnessing an event, but they still have a lot of perspectives on history, and I want my students to understand that history doesn't just happen to people who get written about in the textbooks, but it's happening and everybody is experiencing it.
Adam Massey, Business Education, Greer High School. You know, I expect my students to leave my classroom with personal confidence in themselves and in the skills that they've developed throughout their time in my class. I expect them to develop as leaders and as people. Those are the things that I think are the most important things that they can take away from their experiences in my class. In the virtual enterprise class, for example, I give them opportunities to compete at different competitions. They competed in state competitions as well as national and international competitions. By having those opportunities, anytime that they have small successes, they turn into great successes later on in their lives because of the confidence that they've built. Those are the things that I really want to see them take away from my classes.
Libba Madison, Forensic Science, J.L. Mann High Academy. The first rewarding aspect is definitely the relationships with the students because we connect, and I want to make sure I connect with my students early on in the year because once you build those connections, not only do they respect you as a teacher, but I respect them more as students. And when they come to me with a problem or an issue, I can relate to them and I can understand better. And I really like creating the community in our classroom. That is so important for us to be collaborative learners. Without that, I don't think the class would work because they do a lot of projects and they work hand in hand with each other. And we know that if you work with someone, you want to be comfortable with them.
Clinton Alley, 7th grade science, Bryson Middle School. I think students oftentimes come to class and some of them love it naturally and some of them are terrified of science. But I think to get them to love science, they have to experience it. They have to do things and experience things that the content material comes to life for them. I think that you always want to teach them to ask why and to be inquisitive and to kind of play into that natural inquisitive nature that they have. And getting them to ask questions about why typically leads to other questions, and then we start that process of discovery that science is really about.
Allison Nelson, Human Anatomy and Biology, Malden High School. My greatest contribution to education is to motivate my students to pursue careers in science or medicine and provide them the tools that they need to be successful in those fields. Just making it clear to them that this is their body that we're talking about in human anatomy and why is it important to them to know this information. And once I gain their interest through that, I can motivate them through using technology in the classroom, by interacting through the Promethean board or having them do virtual labs or just to get them up and out of their seats, doing lab activities, dissections, physiological labs like measuring your lung capacity. All of those things just help to gain their interest and motivate them to be successful.
Kim Phillips, Resource Teacher, Bethel Elementary. My passion for nurturing children is really a calling to nurture, and it really impacts the way that I teach, pretty much in the way that I relate to my students. I don't want my students to feel like they are defined by their disability. So I want to, with my students, I set up opportunities for success, real success. So I aim to set the standard high, set those expectations, academics, behaviorally, but attainable. And so then it's like a coach that comes alongside of them and urges them not to quit, to persevere, to keep going, so that when they meet that success, they own it.
Tom Rogers, Physics, Statistics, Computer Science, Southside High Academy. Well, there's a lot of research that says that images pop into a person's mind, and the more interesting, the more outrageous they are, the more humorous they are, the more likely a person is to remember them. For instance, I could give a physics problem that consists of a mass hanging from a massless rope, find the tension in the rope. But if I rephrase it and I say Jackie Chan is hanging by a shoelace over a pit with snapping crocodiles, now all of a sudden it becomes really exciting. Is Jackie Chan going to die? Well, of course we know it's Jackie, so he won't die. The interesting thing is, though, that the equations and the solutions are exactly the same.
Mandy Waters, first grade, Westcliff Elementary School. We tell each other goodbye every day in the car line. And the students have picked up on me, I'll tell the children goodbye and then I'll call them by their nickname that I've given them. Well, the students want to do that now. So now we have a huge party in car line every day where the students yelling each other's names out and telling them goodbye. But it helps the students recognize the importance of who's there and when they're there and their place in the classroom. At the beginning of the year, we have a chat and we talk about the poem about We Are Family. And we talk about all the things that a family does in the classroom and how we make mistakes and we will learn together, we'll laugh together, but most importantly, we're a family.
Jan Woodward, dance. Fine Arts Center. Dance is very competitive, and so we reach for a perfection that we can never attain. So for them to only focus on that, I think it, for some individuals, can be almost self-defeating. But if they can see where they started and where they have grown in that aspect, and I think sometimes it takes letting students know or reminding them where they've come, how far they've come, what they've learned, how they've built on that. Remember when we did, and that was difficult for you. Now this is easy. So now let's do. And so you always have something else.